So one of the things that I posted on my community page is I'm starting to become comfortable settling into this role of kind of being the cool college football star that's playing two freshman chicks who have a crush on me against one another. And it's sad that that this is kind of devolving into a high school drama, but dealing with so many of these New York City commercial real estate brokers is like the same thing as dealing with petty high school drama. Like, just look at this text message. This is a great example. This is somebody that we're going to see in an upcoming episode. I may post a trailer soon if Time Warner allows. And we're talking about a space, and he's like, yeah, that whole you offering $12,000, that doesn't exactly seem like it's going to work. We may be able to set up a meeting. And I said, sure. He wants a Monday meeting. I said, can we possibly do tomorrow? Because I honestly have to decide on a space really soon. We already got a pretty good offer of a lease from a space nearby, and I'd like to make a decision as soon as possible. And instead of saying, sure, let's just see the space, he immediately has to go to shitting on the other space, and even, just using your standard 13-year-old teenager using AOL Instant Messenger, LOL, much better here language. And it's just funny because you could see that I poked there and ego activated, defensiveness activated. It really is very similar to high school. And this is very similar to what happened with this restaurant. So I was very close to signing a lease with that restaurant. At that point, I had seen a lot of different spaces. Many of the spaces I saw kind of sucked. I saw this space. It was reasonably priced. It was large. It needed some work, but it was doable. And it seemed like a workable landlord. And then he came back and said, he's very matter-of-fact with me. And the lease he sent me had no concession. I wasn't exactly sure what was going on with it. We went back to visit him with Steve and I, and there's no concession. And Steve tried to work with him for 30 minutes, no concession. So what do? Well, we wind up saying, okay, we're just gonna, I appreciate very much. We look for other spaces. Then he offers a month, and we said, we're still looking at other spaces. Thank you, but not interested. Then he offers 2 months, still not interested. Then he offers us 6 months. And I'm at this point in time coming up with a way to type an email saying, we found another space. So I appreciate it, but not interested. And this is one of these things where, you played hardball and you lost. Like, what happened to you saying no free months because it's such a great deal and we have other people that are happy to rent it? What happened to that? What happened to the, I could get $50,000 for this equipment. Why would I ever give you even 1 month free when you're already getting a deal? What happened to all that when you're offering 6 months? And this is the kind of lame, kind of greedy shit that's going to come back to bite you in the ass. I like that place. I hadn't seen a lot of good places. If you had offered me 2 months of free rent like every other single store in the entire effing city when construction or extermination is necessary, I would have taken it. But now you can't even get me in the door at 6 months because I've seen other spaces. And if you weren't so greedy in the beginning, you may have actually gotten a decent deal. Now your space is going to sit empty for a year because when people Google that address, they're going to see all the blogs on EV Grieve about how this is a terrible building for a restaurant because the gas keeps going out in the building. And whose fault is that? That's your fault. And one of the lessons that I'm learning here is that I'm going to treat this entire business like the junior high school popularity contest that it is. All the people that never got out of a small town high school jock or mean girls gossiping, chest patting, dick waving, conniving mindset appear to have found their homes in New York City commercial real estate. And if playing them against each other like fools is the way to get a deal, then fuck them. That's what we're going to be doing. And if you just look at the spaces that I had seen so far, this is not the mindset that I want to be taking on. This is not the way I want to view the world, but I have to remind myself that this is New York City, and this is how it is. Look at the space I showed you the first time around. This space has flood damage that they are hiding. And one of the ways they're hiding it is by building a wall in front of a light fixture and then hoping that we don't notice until we rent it. Another space we're looking at has a ridiculous cockroach infestation and gas problems systemic throughout the building that are going to keep any restaurant from being able to rent it, that simultaneously told me they're not giving me any concessions for the extermination, cleaning, and construction work I have to do because it's so easy to get a restaurant to rent it and pay top dollar. Another space that I decided to look at was 800 square feet when they were advertising 1,800 square feet. Another broker that I decided to go to is showing me spaces that are $3,000 to $7,000 outside of my budget, and then lecturing me when I dare to bargain and lowball. There's no integrity here. There's none whatsoever. This is all dick-waving, nonsensical crap that most of these places are involved in. And don't even get me started on the place that costs over $15,000 a month for over 3,000 square feet, and they're telling me that if I have more than 20 people show up every single day, that I'm probably not going to be accepted in the building, or I may get kicked out of the building because of it. Because we don't let scum like you that actually do work for a living, that have customers, into our building. We only let money launderers into our building that need to show an expense on their balance sheet, not people that actually plan on having paying customers in a free market show up at their business and give them money for work. You scumbag. Lowlife. Loser. How dare we have that in our building? Let's not even get started on the fact that I told my broker we get about 100 customers a day. My broker lied to them to get my foot in the door and told them we only get 20 to 30 a day. And that even that would be bothering them because, again, they only let money launderers into their building, apparently. That must be the reason that you have a 3,000 to 4,000 square foot space that you're not even willing to let 20 people on the elevator get to. Or maybe you're just interested in renting some sort of indoor football field for some rich kid to practice in. I would like to treat people the way that I would like to be treated myself, with integrity, ethics, morals, dignity, and just basic sense of understanding. The reality is that sometimes I cannot treat people the way I would like to be treated. Sometimes I need to treat people the way that I would deserve to be treated if I took the same actions that they were taking. And let's face it, if you just watch even 5 minutes of the content that I've produced and recorded when it comes to the New York City commercial real estate industry, these are not people that are acting with ethics, morality, integrity, honesty, any of the virtues that I believe are worth running a business on. And the reality here is that if that's where the bar is and that's how they're going to consistently treat me, then we have to change our approach. And if what I need to do to win this game is play all of these jackasses against one another, then I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to have a damn bit of a guilty conscience as I do. I'm not the best negotiator, but I used to be pretty damn good at this. I remember when I had the supply company, we would have to negotiate all these types of things with a lot of shady vendors on a regular basis. You know, there were these screen brokers that would distribute LG products or AU Optronics products, and I remember figuring out that my competitor was paying about $35 or something, and I was paying $38. So I knew, okay, I have a target. I'm asking to buy the same thing at the same price, and I would ask to buy it, and they would say no, and I'd ask again, and they go, man, no. So then okay, we have to come up with a way to do this. So I'd say, okay, I'm looking to buy about 2,000 of this. Wow. Well, I don't know if we can give you 35. Okay. Well, I would like to buy 2,000 of that. Let's just put together a PO for that. But here's a bunch of other stuff I'm looking for. And I would purposely bring up model numbers of things I know have a really high profit margin to get them excited. And, you know, I'd have them do all this research on it and say, see if you can get this to me and see if you are able to get this other thing on a regular schedule and blah, 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 because we reorder it regularly. And then a week later, I go, okay, I need to buy the screen. Once they got the invoice and everything, I go, well, yeah, I actually only need 200 right now. And one of two things would happen. They'd be disappointed, but they still give it to me for 35. Or they'd go, okay, well, now I'll only be able to give it to you for 38. And I go, okay, great, I'm just canceling my order altogether. And they go, no. And they give it to me for 35. Why? A, because they got emotionally invested in the deal. And B, they're selling the shit to $35 to somebody else anyway. It's the same product. It's the same service. It's the same shipping. Give it to me for the price that you're selling it to my competitor for. And I used to feel guilty about this type of thing. I don't like this type of playing each other against each other and playing your ego against that person's ego and, you know, really drilling and removing your dignity to the point where a space that you were not willing to give a 0-month concession on, you're now willing to give a 6-month concession on when all you even needed to do in the beginning is give a 3-month concession on, and I'm still going to tell you no. I don't like doing this stuff. I never liked doing this. But the reason that I was able to do it guilt-free is because once I had befriended the receptionist or the purchasing agent from my competitor, and once I knew what they were actually paying, there's no way in hell I'm paying more to buy the same product or service than somebody else when we have the exact same general type of business setup and business arrangement. I'm not going to pay more. It's not the way it's going to work. My cat's not going to be sitting here eating Fancy Feast or even worse, Friskies, while the cat of the owner of the other supply company eats wellness or something because I didn't make as good a deal. And the same thing is true here. You know, I don't need to be that type of cutthroat negotiator anymore that I used to be, nor do I have to, you know, pull these deals out of people or, you know, do this type of manipulative horseshit to have them crawl back to you with a deal. I don't have to do that right now because I'm not selling products with a $1 profit margin anymore. It's not what I do. I don't need to be successful in that kind of space where I'm taking a $35 product and I'm selling it for, $41 in free shipping. It's not my business anymore. But it is something that I have to do when it comes to New York City commercial real estate, because New York City commercial real estate is 10 times scummier than the screen market, which is saying something. And it's sad, but it is the way it is. And I can either play the game or I can get steamrolled. And if playing the game meant screwing over or pissing off people that I found to be upstanding, kind, lovely human beings that always treated me right, it's not a game I'd be willing to play. But here, we're talking about people that will openly lie to me about, not about like 10% or 20%, like just 60%, just lie. Or they're just going to hide things that are going to wind up costing me $500,000 over a period of 5 to 10 years. These are the types of things that could easily end my business and end me financially. And it's just, oh yeah, we hope you just don't notice it. And these are not people that have my best interests in mind. These are not even people that care if at any point in time I go completely bankrupt. To them, it's nothing. So I'm going to start treating them the way that I was treating these screen vendors 7 years ago. I'm going to start treating them the same way that they treat me. And we're going to get some deals going here. One of the things that was also interesting in that Jim Camp book, Start With No, is he used to say that in the beginning, people think that they need to show up to a negotiation with their chest out and their best business suit. And they got to sound like the marketing guy from the Dilbert series that aired from 1997 and 1999. Have it all together. Make sure that you got your best voice on from the marketing department. And just, pretend to have everything put together. But the reality is that people don't really let their guard down around those types of individuals. They let their guard down around the woman who walks in and accidentally drops everything out of her purse and has some embarrassing little artifact fall out of it, who allows somebody to help them pick it up. They believe that that person is now beneath them. And when somebody thinks that they're above you, they're willing to sometimes reveal little bits of information or emotion that they wouldn't reveal otherwise if they thought that you were this great and fallible human being. And sometimes it actually works. With that restaurant, he heard me talking about where I planned on putting stuff and what money we planned on spending on construction. So he thought, oh, great, this deal's in the bag. I can go full hardball on this. And he did. And again, I would have rented the space with a 3-month concession. He said 0. All right, cool. I left. He was surprised that I left. Why is he surprised I left? Because a socially awkward, kind of strange person who seemed like they were invested in the space already walked by. And then that just turned on a dime. And he wasn't prepared for that to turn on a dime when it did. So now he started offering all sorts of stuff that, maybe you shouldn't be offering. And that's what's happening when you take that start with no mindset and you run with it. But that's also what happens when you realize that you're not playing a game with honest individuals who have integrity. And this entire game, every single place I've went to, in some way, shape, or form, there's some little bit in there where somebody's lacking in honesty and integrity. And I don't want to go through my life dealing with people looking over my shoulder all the time, assuming that I'm about to get fucked at any given moment. It's not the way I would want to live my life. I would never want to be in a business where I have to deal with this type of shit on a regular basis. But the reality is, if I want to get a deal on a space that's going to affect the deals that I could offer my customers, my employees, myself, for the next 10 years and take my company to the next level, and I have to deal with all these dishonest motherfuckers in the process, you bet your ass I'm going to play every single one of them against each other like a fiddle if it means that I can even get 3 cents off my deal, and I don't plan to feel even the slightest bit bad about it. Because they're showing me right over here. When you send me a message and it says, oh yeah, that place sucks, LOL, and you've never seen it. You don't know the square footage. You don't know what building it's in front of. You don't know the foot traffic in that area. You don't know what the size of it is. You don't know if it's nice or not. You don't know what type of deal I'm getting. You just immediately say it sucks. Now I know that you're not working in the logical part of your brain. You're working in the emotional side. Because if I told you this is the address, this is the amount of space I get, this is the amount of free months, and you said that sucks, okay, I know you're working in the logical part of your brain. But when I put that little seed there, when I plant that little seed of, yeah, if there's any way to get it done a little quicker, I'd appreciate it, just because we have this other deal going, and I just want to make sure that, it doesn't interfere with what we're doing. When I plant that little seed of insecurity, and you respond to it like that, now I know that you're in the emotional side of your brain. And now you've let me in on a little bit of information that I'm going to use against you to get a better deal. And that's what we're going to do with all these places now. From here on in, I'm going full hardcore, penny pinching, emotionally manipulative deal maker on every single one of these individuals. And I'm not going to feel the least bit bad about it. And I hope you enjoy all of the upcoming episodes that we've got coming out. We actually have quite a few spaces that seem like they show a bit of promise. And we're going to get a deal. We're going to find a space and we're going to get the best deal possible on it. And that's the way it's going to go. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.